Hi friends, welcome to EduTap, and here we have brought for you lecture number 9 under the fast track series. Now see, this fast track series is particularly going to cover ESI and finance and news, which are important for your RBI exam and NABARD exam. So RBI Grade B and NABARD Grade A 2019 are going to be covered, and particularly current affairs will be covered through this particular video series. Okay, so let me now tell you about this entire series quickly. See, for ESI and finance, for RBI and NABARD, this series is going to be sufficient. We are going to cover ESI and finance, and you'll be able to see the document also where you can revise all these things. And secondly, for NABARD particularly, you see, ARD is also important, that is agriculture and rural development, and for that we have started a separate series called as ARD in news, so you'll have to refer to that series for covering ARD. And for ESI and FM, which are again important for RBI and NABARD both, this series is going to cover that. So today we are going to cover, firstly we'll cover ESI and then we'll move on to finance and news. So today we are going to cover September 25, 26 and 27, and you must see all the previous videos also, so that you just keep yourself updated with the current affairs. So let us start. Okay, so your first news is about the launch of the Financial Inclusion Index. See, this inclusion index is very much important because government has taken many steps for the financial inclusion of the people. So there were schemes like Jan Dhan Yojana was there, and so many other schemes were run by the government. So this inclusion index is coming out with what is actually the outcome of those schemes which were started. So let us see what this news entails for us. So Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, so Shri Arun Jaitley, has launched this index, and now see, it has been launched in this annual performance review meeting of the CEOs, but from now on it is going to be an annual index. So that means it will be released annually from now on. And see, it is going to measure the access and usage of the basket of formal financial products and services. Now what are these services and products? So I have mentioned here, see, savings, remittances, credit, insurance, pension products. These are all the products and services which are offered through the financial institutions. And what is the access by the people, and how not only it is about access, that you have a bank account, that is not enough here, even if you are using it or not on a regular basis. So these all things will be measured through this index. So it is a very important index indeed. See, three measurement dimensions are here. These are again important from particularly your examination point of view. So access to financial service, usage of that service, and what is the quality provided. So these are about the financial inclusion index, and it is very important particularly. Okay, another step which has been taken for this financial inclusion is this app. Now see, this is Jan Dhan Darshak app, and these apps are very important, you see, because sometimes they are asked in examination that what is this app particularly for. So this Jan Dhan Darshak app has been launched by the Department of Financial Services and NIC, that is National Informatics Center. So NIC plus DFS, you need to keep in mind, they have come up together with this financial inclusion initiative again, which is Jan Dhan Darshak app. Now what is the aim of this app? See, the app will act as a guide for the common people. That means you just need to note down that if common people are using the financial services and they want to get a physical location and they do not know where that service is particularly provided, so this app will help and guide the common people so that they can locate this financial service. So it is a kind of unique app, and you must be able to relate this to your Paytm or other pays where the apps are there. They also provide such features that you can locate a physical point, their physical location, so that this app is going to do so for banks, post office and common services center. So you see, government is trying to take up the pace and compete with the private entrepreneurs, whatever facilities they are providing. So this is again very important for you. Just keep this in mind about this app and the inclusion index also. Okay, so let us move on. Okay, second news is Cabinet approves the National Digital Communication Policy 2018. See, now this digital communication policy is as per not important, but there are certain features of this policy which are important, and I have incorporated here in this video so that you can just go through those features and keep them in mind. If anytime the question is asked on such aspect, you are able to answer it. So we'll quickly see the features of the communication policy. So first of all, the aim of this communication policy, this is 2018 policy, the latest one. So it is about India's transition to a digitally empowered economy. Obviously, so many steps are being taken by government to make India a digital India. So it will be a kind of empowered economy also. The government wants it to be. And information and communication needs of the citizens would be fulfilled through this particular policy. So the features or the key objectives are here. See, first of all, it will be a provisioning of the broadband that the government has in its agenda to provide broadband in the near future to all the citizens. And like 4 million additional jobs, because if India wants to be a digital economy, it has to gain a lot of jobs and income from particularly digital communication sector. So that will also be fulfilled here. Then if we are talking about digital economy, then digital communication sector, the government wants it to jump to 8% of India's GDP, which is currently 6%. So 2% increase in India's GDP. And they also want India to be in the top 50 nations of the ICT Development Index. Now see, again, this is important. ICT Development Index is, you can see it is released by ITU. So now you have to find about ITU and mention the comment section below so that others can also read it and you can also get updated through this. So ITU is your work for today. Find it out. Okay. So enhancing India's contribution to global value chains. Again, this is important. And finally, ensuring digital sovereignty. See, digital sovereignty is nowadays in news a lot, because that a person, when you give away your information digitally, you must have your right over that information. And particularly in case of India, it is so, because we do not have servers here. India is a leader in the service sector, but we do not have the service or servers for maintenance of that particular the services which we are providing. So in that terms, it becomes important so that digital sovereignty is maintained here, because that needs a lot of infrastructure which particularly our country is lacking, and we are trying to build that up now. So these are some objectives. Apart from this, there are two other targets of the government. Now these two are very important. See, government is trying to provide universal broadband connectivity. We have just spoken about it. So universal broadband connectivity to every citizen at 50 Mbps. First of all, this is important. And secondly, apart from every individual citizen, all the Gram Panchayats, there is a scheme which is running particularly for the connection of the Gram Panchayats through the OFCs, that is the connectivity of these Gram Panchayats. Now you have to name that scheme and mention in the comment section below. We have discussed about it a lot. So 1 Gbps connectivity to Gram Panchayats by 2020. First of all, that means just 2 years from now, 1 Gbps connectivity to all the Gram Panchayats, and it will be extended to 10 Gbps by 2022. So these are some ambitious objectives of the government, and just keep them in mind. These are very important ones. So that is it about this National Digital Communication Policy. Moving on to your next news. Okay, again important, Cabinet has approved 100% government stake in GSTN. So until now, as you know, this GSTN was set up as a public-private body organization, so that all the facilities which are digital facilities for the maintenance of GST would be through this GST network, and now government has decided to take it all. So that means 100% stake is going to be taken by the government in the GSTN. So till now 49% was with the government and 51% by non-government institutions. Now see, these are certain very important points you need to keep in mind, that till now had the government this particularly share of 49 or 51. So government had the lesser share of 49%, and now it is going to have completely 100% share. So here you can read about GSTN, particularly a non-government, non-profit private limited company. Private limited, that means 51% would be with the private partners. So also it is a non-profit company, and till now you need to know, you just go through this slide so that you can get a detail about what was the share of central government. Here it is mentioned 24.5% by central government and 24.5% by the various states. So it was divided in all the states and UTs. But now, and 51% by some financial private institutions. So now it is going to be 100% for central government. But now we have just seen central and state government are going to have the equal share. So these are some important point from GSTN, and if any other thing useful you find and you can recall about GSTN or the anti-profiteering authority was there, you can just mention in the comment section below. Okay, let us move on. Okay, it is about again the sustainable developmental goals. So Ministry of INB has joined this SDG Media Compact. So this Media Compact is particularly about, the compact is about the grouping of various countries coming together for spreading the awareness about the sustainable development goals. Since we are running short of time, 2030 is the timeline deadline for achieving these SDGs. So now so many such other measures are being taken for making people and government aware about these goals. So 30 organizations across the world have come together and formed this global media compact, and so India being a founding member, this becomes important for us. You just need to keep in mind, see what is this media compact about, is India its founding member, and about the sustainable development goals particularly you need to know. So you can just go through it once, and that would be it. You don't need to learn any other thing from particularly here. So that's it. Let's move on. Okay, now this is again important. Government launches the portal to grant MSME loans within an hour. See, again, government is pushing a lot of MSMEs so that they come forward, because MSMEs have a very important share in our economy. So many population is dependent particularly on these micro, small and medium enterprises. So this portal, so that basically the facilitating of these MSMEs so that they can work well, is the one such initiative is this one you can see. So this portal particularly you can see here it's www.psbloansin59minutes.com. not only 60, it's 59 minutes here. So they want it to be less than 1 hour. So see, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has launched this portal. Now what is this about? They will be giving the approval of loans within an hour without the need of a branch visit. Now this is important because MSMEs, the persons who are owning MSMEs or they want to have a loan, it is very difficult for them to go and visit a branch. Sometimes they are in the places which is very remote and they have to locate all the things. So now they just need to operate and online, and they will get this approval. And 59 minutes, you can see the portal's name, so obviously they'll try to make it less than 1 hour. Now what is important here is the portable will enable the loans up to rupees 1 crore. So this is important from examination point of view, that what is the limit of the loans. So first of all, 1 crore is the limit of these loans, and secondly they will be granted by SEBI and 5 PSBs. We'll learn about these 5 PSBs in the next slide I've mentioned. But SEBI, you need to keep in mind, SEBI is the apex body for the financial facilitation of the MSME. So this is the apex body and all the approvals are through this SEBI only. So 5 PSBs and SEBI are going to approve the loan up to rupees 1 crore for MSMEs. Some important informations, do keep them in mind. So the 5 public sector banks, you can go through them: SBI, Bank of Baroda, PNB, Vijaya Bank and Indian Bank. So these are 5 important banks, and important thing is until the disbursement stage there will be no human intervention, and after the approval of the loan it will be tried that within 7 to 8 days the loan is disbursed, and at the disbursal stage finally there will be some human intervention, and then the officers would be coming and all the inspections would be going on. So important thing, keep this in mind. Okay, so we are done with our ESI in news. We have done so many important news from the economics section from today's lecture. Okay, so now we'll see about the finance in news particularly. Okay, so let's start. Government hikes import duty of 19 non-essential items. See, this news per se is not that particularly important about the hiking of the items, but why is this here? Let me tell you the background. See, you see a surge in the oil prices, and on the other hand, oil and petrol prices are surging, and simultaneously the rupee is falling. So these two steps have made it very difficult for the government to maintain this current account deficit. So you know, two deficits are there. This is the particular deficit of current account deficit is going to be curbed through this particular act or the step taken by the government. So this is particularly important for you, and current account deficit, you must read about that also. We'll see about that in next slide. So government has announced to raise the import duties. Since the current account deficit is widening, oil price, petroleum price, we are a very big importer of the crude oil and the petroleum. So that is why this dipping rupee is causing a lot of problems for the government. So see, rupee has all-time low touched, that is 72.91, and it has fallen beyond that also. This is about September 12 last. So domestic currency has declined, oil prices are increasing. So government has announced, it had announced the steps to be taken for the curbing of all such things, and there are a few steps which they had announced they'll take. That is the removal of the withholding tax on the masala bonds. We have learnt about masala bonds in a previous video also. Just in the previous lecture we learnt about masala bonds. Now they are presently listed in the London Stock Exchange, and now they are going to be listed in NSE also. So first of all, they had to withhold this tax on masala bonds. Then FPIs, that is portfolio investments, were to be relaxed, and curbs on the non-essential imports. So the non-essential imports, I have mentioned the previous slide, these are like air conditioners are there, or other things. You can just go through them once. So just keep this in mind, the background, that why is this step being taken, and read about this current account deficit also. Okay, so our final news is about the northern states and UTs. Okay, so all the northern states, not all, but 4 northern states and 2 union territories have come together, and they have agreed for fixing this uniform tax rates on petroleum products. Now this is important, and you need to keep in mind what are these states. So 4 neighboring states are Punjab, Haryana, UP and Himachal. So 2 UTs are Delhi and Chandigarh. So these are the 6 particularly UTs and states. They are going to fix their uniform tax rate, and also once this is done, they have agreed that they'll also fix the uniformity in the taxes on liquor and the registration of vehicles. Because if there is no uniform tax rates, there are cases like, particularly I'll give you the example. There was this news that Punjab says that the petrol pumps which are on the border, the vehicles are usually vehicle owners, they go there and get their petrol filled there. Or similar is the case with the registration of the vehicles, that once you have taken, you usually go for registration and buying a vehicle from some other state, like it's Haryana. So maybe the people from Haryana or Punjab, they go to the neighboring Himachal Pradesh, where they find the fee is less, and they get the registered vehicle there. So these are some important things, and they directly influence the economy of a particular state, and that is why they have come up with this idea. And so firstly, you need to keep in mind uniform tax rates for petroleum, what are the states and UTs, and if some agreement is there, obviously we'll cover it. So for now, just keep all these things in mind. So I guess we are done. Now we'll try and solve various MCQs, and as you guys have come up with this request of coming up with MCQs so that you can solve and find your marks. Okay, so question is here first. Okay, if you know, try and solving them, you must know the answer, and if you know it, just you point out your score and mention in the comment section below. So your question number 1 is, Jan Dhan Darshak app has launched an initiative of financial inclusion. Now this is jointly developed by Ministry of Finance and Dash. So your options are here, and I'm sorry about this, just ignore this fair thing. So you have to answer that Jandhan Darshak app is launched by Finance Ministry and dash. So your options are here. Just try and solve them. Is it Niti Aayog, DRDO, NIC, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, or MSME? So we have just learned the answer to this is National Informatics Center. Now see, particularly this NIC functions under the Ministry of ICT. So you need to keep in mind that if Ministry of ICT is there, you can mark the answer correct even there. So this is your answer. Question 2. Related to digital communication policy, the government aims to provide 1 Gbps connectivity to all Gram Panchayats by the year. Now this is important. Try and solve it. If you remember, our answer to this is 2020. That means your option is D. So 1 Gbps by 2020 and 10 Gbps by 2022. So this is your second question. Third asks, as per Cabinet's recent approval, government will have the ownership of how much percentage in the GSTN? Again, this is important, and you've not read about this news, you can get confused that what is it now, and just try and solve it. So our answer is 100%. So it will be 100% government GSTN, government body of GSTN. Question 4. Government has recently launched a portal to provide in-principle approval to the loans for MSMEs within an hour of their application. So the limit of the loans to be approved is, now question is about the limit of the loans which have to be approved. So your options are here: 5 crore, 50 lakh, 25 lakh, 1 crore or 10 crore. So just try and solve it. Yes, it is 1 crore. We have seen this in our lecture previously. And our final question is about which of the following states is not among the northern states which have agreed to fix uniform tax rate on the petroleum products. So read carefully, the question is about not among the northern states. So you have to find out which state is not there which is going to fix a uniform tax rate on the petroleum products or petroleum also. So is it Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, UP or Uttarakhand? The hint is that these are the 5 neighboring states, although all these are neighboring anyhow. So your answer here is Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand is the state particularly which is not going to come up in this fixing of the uniform tax rate. So just tally your answers here, and if you have missed it, note the answer here. Here are your important answers. So that's it, guys. We have covered ESI and Finance and important MCQs, and in case you guys have any query related to the courses which are being offered by us or these particularly examinations of NABARD, RBI or even SEBI, you can just drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in, and I would recommend you to go and visit our website www.edutap.co.in, and a contact number is here. You can WhatsApp us or call us on this number 8146 207 241. So if you find this video useful and you think that you have learned something new which is going to be helpful for you, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. And this is the link of the Telegram channel. This is a Telegram channel. You can go there and download the PDF of this as well as all other lectures, so that you are able to keep this and revise it later also. So that's it, guys, for today. Have a happy learning and thank you.